Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our major stories tonight. West African leaders resolve to solve the political impasse in the Gambia in a peaceful manner. Northeast states on high alert following warning of likely attacks from fleeing Boko Haram terrorists. Police parade 7 persons suspected to have masterminded the kidnap of the former Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Agudu Hirse. And Russia says the U.S. allegations it ran a hacking campaign to influence the American presidential elections are evocative of a witch hunt. Just to remind you that for more on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also watch us on the go on your mobile device. Just log in to m.channelstv.com or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Having the Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates, and you also have the eyewitness feature, so you too can be part of the news. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the eyewitness menu, and then follow instructions there to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. The All Progressives Congress in Ekiti State has accused Governor Ayodele Fayose of diverting the sum of 5.3 billion naira out of the 8.8 billion naira received from the federal government from the Paris loan refund to states. The party also alleged that Labour leaders in the state are hobnobbing with the state government to mismanage the funds. The state governor and the Labour union has refuted the claims.
The controversy over the disbursement of funds by some state governors from monies received out of the 522 billion naira payment as part of the reimbursement for the over-deduction on the Paris Club loan seems not to be over. Now is the turn of Ekiti State to absolve itself of any wrongdoing, as the state governor is being accused by the major opposition party of diverting funds meant for salaries.
What Governor Fayose is doing is just a kind of a kangaroo arrangement, a kind of callous manipulation against the people to siphon the resources which ordinarily should have been to the benefit of the people.
The governor is also alleged to be in connivance with Labour union to cheat workers in the state. A claim the union leader in the state refutes, saying that its relationship with the governor is in order.
The party that is talking were active players when they were in government. We normally meet somewhere in Oyo local government on monthly basis then. Why were the opposition parties not saying that we are hobnobbing with the government then? And I think the Labour and government relationship when they were in power was even more cordial than this. Because those people that were the aims of affair for one day did not go on strike. But here we are, the government they said we are hobnobbing with, we went on strike for 6 weeks.
The governor, Mr. Ayo Fayose, says he has nothing to fear as the monies received have been disbursed accordingly.
Ekiti got 8.5 billion from Paris Club. But before the money was paid, we were made to understand that we have to spend 50% on salaries and emoluments. And the money is between, the 8.5 is between the state and the local government. The state got about 5 billion or less than 5 billion. The local government got about 4 billion, close to 4 billion.
The allegations of misappropriation can be said to be neither here nor there without proof. But what is important is that at the end of the day, accountability is what everyone is watching out for.
From there, let's cross over to the Federal Capital Territory now. Here's Ibrahim Adra. Ibrahim.
Hello, Echama. Good to see you as always. The Bring Back Our Girls group today continued its week-long march in the Federal Capital Territory to raise awareness as the Chibok girls' captivity clocked 1,001 days. On day 2 of the procession, the BBOG campaign focused on the plight of internally displaced persons across the country. Our correspondent Ajuri was there and reports.
More results. What are we demanding?
More than 1,000 days have passed since the Chibok girls went into captivity, and the Bring Back Our Girls campaign is trekking through the nation's capital to make a statement not just about the recovery of the girls, but now about the plight of those languishing in IDP camps across the nation.
We shall always fight for our girls.
Palpable is the sweat-filled commitment of an undaunted civilian movement, resilient to unite in common purpose over a nearly 3-year span for young women who are denied such freedom. Chants of this cross-gender, cross-ethnic, cross-religious amalgamation of Nigerians with mothers and daughters speaks of an undying pursuit of not just the missing girls, but of a higher ideal.
The soul of Nigeria. The soul of Nigeria.
While traffic jams pile up at the scene, police officials carefully safeguard protesters from vehicular movement without incident. But while freedom of movement and expression are today a guarantee in modern Nigeria, the Bring Back Our Girls group says the federal government must guarantee the freedom of all.
People go disappearing daily, but we don't have a missing persons register. We don't have a setup in terms of people being able to go to the police without being asked to pay something. And some of them have said they've been bullied.
As high-level corruption allegations continue to swirl around the federal government's interventions in camps for internally displaced persons, there is increasing intolerance for the status quo.
Why should Nigeria behave as if we cannot find the solutions to improving the conditions of our internally displaced people? Our internally displaced people can become a scourge on this country.
The lives and destinies of these missing young women remain imperiled, and while it is clear that their captivity is indefinite, definite is the resolution of this group to march on. Ajuri Ngilale, Channels Television News.
Still in the nation's capital, a Federal Capital Territory High Court sitting in Abuja has abridged the hearing of a suit against Justice Adeni Ademola of the Federal High Court and his wife, Mrs. Olaboale Ademola, on allegations of corruption and breach of trust to January the 11th, 2017. Justice Jude Okeke made the orders after the counsel to Justice Ademola and his wife made an application asking that their trial be brought forward from the 18th of January, when the trial was supposed to commence. According to them, commencing the trial at an earlier date will afford them the opportunity to get it done with and move on with their lives. The prosecution, who did not oppose the application, informed the court that it will be amending the charges to accommodate a third person, Mr. Joe Aggie, who would be rearranged alongside the judge and his wife. Justice Adeola and his wife were on the 13th of December 2016 arraigned on an 11-count charge for breach of professional ethics and corruption for allegedly collecting kickbacks from a legal practitioner, Mr. Joe Aggie.
We brought an application for an abridgment of the time. The matter had been previously adjourned to the 18th of January. And we felt that, having regard to the sensitivity of the matter and the need for, well, everybody to have an expeditious determination, we felt compelled to bring a motion so that the matter could be brought down. Happily, with the cooperation of the prosecution, we've agreed on further dates, the 11th, and then from Monday next week till Wednesday next week.
Actually, the trial was supposed to commence on 18th of January, but the defendant wanted accelerated hearing of the trial and an earlier date for trial, which had been granted. So the trial will now come up on Wednesday for arraignment, because we are joining another defendant to the charge, Mr. Joe Aggie, and trial will now commence on 11th.
Meanwhile, the trial of Justice Rita Ofili-Ajumogobia continued today at the Lagos High Court sitting in the Ikeja area. The first prosecution witness, Ademola Oshodi, detailed in court how monies were paid and moved between the judge's domiciliary account and her other accounts. Our judiciary correspondent Shola Shoele has that report.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, had accused Justice Rita Ofili-Ajumogobia of unlawful enrichment, corruption by a public officer, forgery, and giving of false information to an official of the EFCC. She's standing trial alongside a senior advocate of Nigeria, Godwin Obla, who was charged with offering gratification in the sum of 5 million naira to Justice Ofili-Ajumogobia, a public official, while carrying out her duties as a judge. The accused persons have pleaded not guilty to the charges. At Monday's proceedings, the court proceeded with trial, despite efforts by the judge's lawyer, Mr. Wale Akoni SAN, to hold the trial. The SAN had asked for an adjournment on the grounds that he had a pending application asking the EFCC to provide him with some documents in relation to the case. The prosecution witness told the court how Justice Ofili-Ajumogobia approached his bank, Diamond Bank, to open a corporate account for her company. Upon verification, the bank found out that the address she gave for the company was an uncompleted building. The witness, however, said the bank went ahead and opened the corporate account for the company in good faith because of the defendant's position as a federal high court judge and also because the property belongs to her. The witness further detailed in court how he helped the judge move large sums of foreign currencies between her 3 accounts, all domiciled with Diamond Bank. The defense counsel declined to comment on the day's proceedings, but the prosecuting counsel did.
Leading the witness to analyze the evidence which is already before the court is to give flesh to our allegation. The onus on the prosecution to prove the case beyond reasonable doubt, and it's not for us just to dump those documents before the court. We are to explain it, and that is basically what the witness has done today, which we are quite satisfied with.
Presiding Judge Justice Akim Oshodi has adjourned the matter till January 30 for continuation of trial and possibly the hearing of the first defendant's pending application. Shola Shoele, Channels Television News.
Staying with the judiciary, another Lagos High Court, this time sitting in the Ikorodu area, has dismissed a suit seeking to restrain Oba Kabiru Shotobi from parading himself as the monarch of Ikorodu land. Presiding Justice Olushola Williams dismissed the suit while ruling on an application filed by the claimants in the matter. The claimant, 3 princes of Ikorodu, Tajuddin Odofin, Tayo Ladega, and Bolahon Nobanjo, had filed a suit to challenge the installation of Oba Shotobi. They also sought an order of interlocutory injunction, that is, from the court, restraining the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th respondents from dealing with or according any recognition or paying royalties and salaries to the first respondent as the Ayegbure of Ikorodu, among other prayers. But in her ruling, Justice Williams held that their prayers had already been determined and answered in an earlier suit by her brother, Judge Justice Akintunde Savage, in 2015.
The case has been determined by Justice Savage, and coming again for the second time is an abuse of the process of court, and that is what she has determined this morning.
Well, we will look at the ruling very well and determine if it's worthy of appealing to the Court of Appeal or not. But that's an issue that will be decided after we have reviewed the ruling just delivered.
And when the news at 10 returns, Nigeria's Securities and Exchange Commission plans to increase oversight functions to protect the country's capital market. That'll be on Business News. Join us again.